A series of powerful missile launches streaked across the sky as Iran's military announced a dramatic escalation in the ongoing confrontation with Israel. According to Iranian officials, a new generation of long-range missiles had been fired toward Israel's northern coast, targeting one of the most strategically significant energy facilities in the country, the Bazan Group oil refinery complex located in Haifa Bay. The refinery, the largest in Israel, quickly became the center of global attention after reports emerged that multiple missiles had struck the facility, triggering explosions and widespread damage across parts of the complex. Iranian sources described the strike as a direct retaliation for Israeli attacks that had previously targeted Iranian oil infrastructure. In their announcement, Iranian commanders claimed that the missile barrage had successfully reached the refinery and caused major destruction across sections of the facility. According to those statements, the strike was carried out using newly developed ballistic missiles designed to penetrate advanced air defense systems and strike high-value industrial targets. Before we break down how this dramatic missile strike unfolded, how these new generation missiles reportedly bypassed air defense systems, and the scale of destruction claimed at Israel's largest oil refinery, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the latest dramatic geopolitical developments shaping the world. The attack reportedly began with a coordinated launch of long-range ballistic missiles from Iranian territory. Military analysts studying the reports suggested that the strike involved a concentrated barrage designed to overwhelm defenses protecting the refinery. According to Iranian claims, the missiles used in the strike were part of a newer generation of weapons capable of traveling long distances at extremely high speeds. These missiles were reportedly equipped with advanced guidance systems and maneuverable trajectories intended to reduce the chances of interception. As the missiles approached Israeli airspace, warning systems across northern Israel were reportedly activated. The refinery complex in Haifa, situated near the Mediterranean coast, suddenly found itself in the direct path of the incoming barrage. Moments later, explosions reportedly erupted across sections of the refinery. Several missiles were said to have impacted inside the industrial complex itself, striking pipelines, storage facilities, and sections of the refinery infrastructure. Witnesses in surrounding areas reported seeing large plumes of smoke rising above Haifa Bay as flames spread across parts of the refinery compound. According to Iranian statements, the strike caused extensive damage across multiple sections of the facility. The Bazan refinery complex is a massive industrial installation composed of pipelines, processing units, storage tanks, and power systems that work together to refine crude oil into fuel products. Missile impacts in such an environment can trigger chain reactions. Explosions near pipelines can ignite fuel, while damage to power systems can shut down large sections of the plant. Iranian officials claim that several missiles struck areas containing fuel processing equipment, causing fires that spread through parts of the refinery. Reports linked to the attack suggested that sections of the refinery's transmission pipelines were damaged during the missile barrage. Pipelines are the arteries of a refinery. They transport crude oil and refined products between different processing units across the facility. Damage to these pipelines can halt the flow of fuel and force sections of the refinery to shut down. According to reports following the strike, the Bazan Group refinery shut down several facilities after the attack due to damage caused by missile impacts. Fires reportedly broke out across parts of the industrial complex, with emergency teams working to contain the flames. Satellite imagery examined by analysts suggested that several impact points were visible inside the refinery compound. Some impacts appear to have occurred near processing units responsible for refining crude oil into gasoline and diesel. Others were reportedly located near storage facilities where refined products are held before being transported to distribution networks. Iranian officials described the strike as a demonstration of the capabilities of their latest missile systems. According to the IRGC statement, the missiles used in the attack were designed specifically to defeat air defense networks. They reportedly featured high-speed trajectories and guidance systems that allowed them to adjust course during flight. Such features can make interception significantly more difficult. In their statement, Iranian commanders argued that the strike showed that even heavily protected infrastructure could be reached. The refinery complex itself occupies a large industrial zone along the Haifa coastline. Massive storage tanks, industrial towers, pipelines, and processing units dominate the landscape of the facility. When missiles strike such an environment, the results can be dramatic. Explosions can ignite fuel vapors and create towering fireballs visible from miles away. Smoke can rise high above the skyline as fires spread across sections of the complex. According to reports circulating after the strike, flames were seen burning inside parts of the refinery as emergency crews attempted to control the damage. The strike also disrupted operations at the facility. Following the missile impacts, several refinery units reportedly shut down as operators assessed the damage and attempted to prevent further incident. This shutdown had immediate implications for Israel's energy infrastructure. The Bazan refinery complex is responsible for refining a large share of the country's fuel supply. Damage to such a facility can disrupt fuel production and distribution across the country. Iranian officials emphasized that this was precisely why the refinery had been chosen as a target. The strike, they said, was intended to respond to Israeli attacks on Iranian oil facilities, while also demonstrating that Iran could strike key energy infrastructure. The confrontation between Iran and Israel had already escalated in previous days. Earlier attacks had targeted oil depots and refinery infrastructure inside Iran, triggering fires and significant damage. Iranian officials framed the strike on Haifa as retaliation for those earlier operations. According to their statements, the missile barrage was meant to show that attacks on Iranian energy infrastructure would carry consequences. Energy facilities have increasingly become focal points during modern conflicts. Oil refineries, pipelines, and fuel storage depots represent critical infrastructure that supports national economies and military logistics. Striking such installations can have ripple effects that extend far beyond the immediate damage. In the case of the Bazan refinery, the facility has long been a central pillar of Israel's energy system. The complex was originally constructed during the British Mandate period and has been expanded over decades into a major refining hub. Today, it processes crude oil into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and other petroleum products used across the country. Because of this role, the refinery has also been linked to strategic fuel supplies supporting military and aviation operations. Iranian officials referenced this connection when explaining the purpose of the strike. According to their statement, the refinery was considered a strategic energy installation connected to Israeli military activity. By targeting the facility, the IRGC sought to disrupt what it described as a key logistical hub supporting Israeli operations. The attack also highlighted the evolving role of missile warfare in modern conflicts. Missiles allow countries to strike distant targets without deploying aircraft or ground forces. They can travel hundreds or even thousands of kilometers and reach targets within minutes. Advances in missile technology have also improved accuracy and survivability. Guidance systems now allow missiles to strike specific industrial structures within large complexes. Iran has invested heavily in developing such capabilities over the past 2 decades. Its missile arsenal includes a variety of ballistic and cruise missiles designed to target infrastructure, military bases, and strategic facilities. According to Iranian officials, the missiles used in the Haifa strike represented some of the most advanced systems in that arsenal. Their ability to reach the refinery and cause damage was presented as proof of their effectiveness. The strike on the Bazan refinery quickly became one of the most dramatic developments in the confrontation between Iran and Israel. Energy infrastructure had now become a direct battlefield. The fires and damage reported at the Haifa refinery symbolized how modern conflicts can extend beyond military bases into the industrial systems that power entire economies. For Israel, the refinery represents a critical piece of its energy network. For Iran, striking it served as a message that retaliatory capabilities could reach strategic targets. And as smoke rose above the Haifa coastline following the missile impacts, the world watched closely to see how the confrontation might evolve next. Because when a nation's largest oil refinery becomes the target of ballistic missiles, the consequences can ripple far beyond the immediate explosion. They can reshape the strategic calculations of an entire region. And according to Iranian officials, this strike was only the beginning of a much larger response. In the hours following the missile barrage, attention remained fixed on the refinery complex as engineers and emergency teams worked to assess the damage across the facility. Reports indicated that several operational units inside the refinery had been forced to shut down after the impacts, not only because of the fires triggered by the explosions, but also because of the structural damage to pipelines and processing equipment. Large sections of the industrial network that moves crude oil through the refinery reportedly had to be isolated in order to prevent further ignition and to stabilize the site. Inside such a massive energy facility, even a limited number of missile impacts can create cascading problems. When pipelines rupture or processing towers are damaged, entire chains of production must often be halted. That appeared to be the situation unfolding at the Bazan complex, where multiple refinery units were reportedly taken offline while safety teams attempted to contain the situation and inspect critical systems. The strike also sent shockwaves through energy markets and strategic planners across the region. The refinery's role in producing large volumes of gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel means that any disruption to its operations can affect fuel supply chain. Tanker routes, fuel storage networks, and distribution systems linked to the refinery suddenly became part of the larger geopolitical calculation surrounding the conflict. For Iran, the missile strike was presented as a clear message that energy infrastructure could become a central battleground in the confrontation. And as flames and smoke continued to rise above Haifa Bay, the attack demonstrated how modern missile warfare can reach deep into the industrial backbone of a nation's economy, transforming a refinery complex into one of the most contested strategic targets in the region.